YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we got a quick review and test of the Savox SB2292SG Servo. These, yeah, they're quite expensive. They do come with a nice long servo cable, but it is all black on these, and the only way you can tell is the little chamfers on the plug or the tiny little markings on the actual servo plug. Not impossible to do, and you can always see which way round they go with the little chamfers, and you can see the face of the servo plug. So let's have a look inside, see what we've got in this one. This is the servo that we've been running in the Armour Creighton 6S EXB, and not had masses of use, mainly due to the 6S Creighton EXB being out of action more times than it's in action. But it's had some use, and we've not had any issues with it. Like with most of these Savox servos, they tend to be a bit more on the noisier side, and I'm not a huge fan of these little crosshead screws. I prefer the hex drive ones, especially if these get a little bit of dirt in, they can strip out really easy. But in general, it's a very high quality, very well made servo, and there seems to be plenty of performance in it. Now it's advertised as brushless, and you can clearly see the brushless controller, 3 poles, and the sensor connections. Now it's not advertised as waterproof, I don't believe, this one. And I'm not seeing any waterproofing in it. You have got a little either, not sure if that's a thermal pad or just a piece of rubber, and it basically sits against the bottom of the motor. So yes, it's advertised as brushless, and yes, it is a brushless servo, which is always nice to get what you're paying for, especially with a servo this sort of price. I think these are around £116 in UK, or they were at the time when I bought it. They may have gone up since. Seems though most of the stuff has. I believe the X-Ray XT8E22, I think I picked that up for a little over £600, and I've seen both Model Sport and Wheelspin selling them, or at least listing them as MSRP now at £800, which is quite a jump in price. But seems that way everything's going at the minute. Random increases in price, and we all know what they blame for it. Not sure how much truth's in that. Let's get the last screw back in. And this is the screw design where you've got long screws that go right the way through into the top of the servo, as opposed to some of the servos where they have shorter screws and then you take the top and bottom off separate. So that's got it all back together. So let's get this one on test rig and see how it performs. Right, so let's get testing this Savox. So first off, we have 8.1 volt. So we got an average of 37.5. It looks like it's drawing nearly 7 amp at 8.1 volt. So let's reset that. Make sure it's zeroed. And then let's check it. We'll drop it down. So this is at 7.2 volt. And these are one noisy servo. So we've not really dropped that much torque. So 35.8, yeah, 35.8 kilograms of torque. Drop it all the way down to 6 volt. And 28.9 kilograms of torque. So, not a bad servo, but these are very, very noisy, and my god, that gets hot. That is the hottest I have ever felt a servo on test rig. But it does get cracking numbers. So, let's get back to conclusion. Right, conclusion time. So, let's get some idea of how quick this servo is. So that's 6 volt. Let's bump it up to 7.2. So that's 7.2 volt. They are a weird servo, the way they bounce when you hit the end travel. Don't do it at any other point, but if you hit all the way to the end of the travel at servo, it will bounce. But they are bloody quick. And there's no getting away from it. They are a decent quick servo and pretty powerful, but you're paying for it. I mean, that's the 8.1 volt we're getting there. So yeah, pretty rapid servo. Possibly one of the highest power draws we've had, at around 7 amp, but it's not going to be a servo that you're going to put in some cheap little car, and potentially you may be better off running this using a proper BEC or UBC rather than trying to run it off your stock ESC. Especially if you're running a stock speed controller, costs up to 7 amp. That's quite a lot of power draw. these BECs, I mean, even this one that's a relatively cheap Hobbywing one, it's a 10 amp constant, 20 amp max, which would be ample for running this. There's also the one that we're running, Lossy LMT, that'd be a good fit for this kind of servo. Or if you've got an aftermarket ESC, just make sure that the BEC on it can handle up to 7 amp, else you're not going to get the most performance out of this, or you could burn the BEC out on your ESC. But lovely looking servo, really well made. We have used quite a lot of Savox over the years in most of our RCs really, but really nice looking servo, really nice made, cracking performance. I mean, you've seen performance figures. The one thing I will say, this is the quickest servo to get hot out of everyone we've tried. Now, it doesn't have an issue when I'm using it in the Creighton 6S EXB and it gets a hard life in there. I may be tempted to swap it out for the and put it in the actual 1/8 race truggy, but we'll have to see. They are, as all Savox seems to be, slightly noisy, or slightly on the noisier side of servos, but it's what it's advertised as. It is brushless, cracking performance, just not the cheapest at around £116–117 in UK, but you are getting the best of sort of all worlds with it. You're getting really fast speed, can handle high voltage, it's brushless, and it's pretty high torque. So thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and share to any friends and family that you might find it useful. I'll catch you guys again in the next one.